The morning sun had barely begun to stretch its golden fingers over the sprawling farmland when Max, a majestic German shepherd with a coat as dark as midnight and eyes like molten amber, woke with a start. His ears twitched instinctively, picking up sounds no human could hear: the faintest rustle of leaves, the distant clatter of hooves, the soft whimper of a bird startled into flight. Something was wrong. He could feel it in the air, a tension that was almost tangible, like the calm before a storm, though the sky above was clear and the wind gentle. Max's human, Daniel, was still asleep, his back to the rising sun, oblivious to the unease creeping through the farm. Max's nose twitched as he rose, silently padding across the wooden floor of the farmhouse. His paws were soundless on the cold morning tiles, a predator's grace intertwined with the loyalty and caution that only a German shepherd could possess. There was an instinct deep within him, a sixth sense honed through years of trust, training, and survival. Today, that instinct screamed a warning. He pressed his muzzle to the floor, inhaling the scent of the barn. The smell of hay, damp earth, and horses drifted upward in waves, but beneath it, there was something alien, something out of place. It wasn't an intruder in the traditional sense, not a human or even a wild animal looking for prey. It was different, subtle but menacing, like a shadow crawling over the sunlit earth. Max's hackles rose, and his tail stiffened. The horses in the barn shifted nervously. Their soft snorts and occasional neighs were normal, but Max could hear the unease behind those sounds, the flick of a tail that betrayed fear, the stamp of hooves that hinted at impending danger. One of the younger horses, a chestnut mare named Bella, pawed the ground repeatedly, ears pinned back. Max moved closer, growling low in his throat, a warning not just to any threat, but to the horses themselves. "Stay calm," his eyes seemed to say, "I will protect you." Then he heard it, a faint metallic scraping, almost imperceptible, like claws on stone, coming from the far edge of the farm, where the dense woods began. Max's ears shot forward, his body tensing. His instinct screamed that someone, or something, was moving stealthily, deliberately. Not in search of food, but with a purpose. Max barked sharply, a sound that cut through the quiet morning like a blade. Daniel stirred, groaning, rubbing sleep from his eyes. "Max, what is it, boy?" he mumbled, not yet fully awake. Max paced toward the door, barking again, urgent this time, then turned to fix Daniel with an intense gaze. His body language was unmistakable. Danger, imminent and unavoidable, was approaching. Daniel, still groggy, rubbed his chin and nodded slowly. All right, calm down, boy, show me." He followed Max outside, slipping into worn boots and grabbing a jacket. The farm stretched around them, a patchwork of green pastures, wooden fences, and barns filled with animals. The morning air was crisp, almost biting, and carried the scent of dew and soil. Max led the way toward the edge of the property, moving with a precision and confidence only a dog of his caliber could muster. Daniel followed, puzzled by the urgency radiating from Max. As they neared the tree line, Max stopped suddenly, ears forward, tail stiff, body low to the ground. His gaze was fixed on a shadow moving through the underbrush. It was not the wind rustling the leaves. It was deliberate, slow, calculated. Max growled low, a sound that vibrated in the chest, warning of something unseen yet palpable. Daniel squinted, trying to make out the figure. At first, it seemed like just a trick of the light, a dark form among the trees, but then movement, a sudden darting, caught his eye. The dogs in the surrounding area, usually calm and indifferent, began to whimper and bark from their kennels, as though the unseen presence affected them too. Max growled again, louder this time, his stance unwavering, a silent sentinel refusing to yield. He had always been protective, but today his vigilance was heightened, sharpened by something beyond instinct. Suddenly, a piercing screech split the air, a bird, large, feral, and utterly unnatural in its tone. Max lunged forward, barking furiously, as if to challenge the unseen predator. Daniel froze, fear and confusion mingling in his chest. "Max, what is it? What's happening?" But Max didn't respond with words. He needed no voice to communicate the urgency. His entire body screamed warning, his eyes blazing with a fierce intelligence. Without warning, the chestnut mare, Bella, bolted, kicking up a cloud of dust and straw. Max barked and ran to intercept her, circling, guiding her back toward safety, toward the barn. The other horses followed, shoving and jostling as panic took hold. Daniel ran after Max, heart hammering. The farm had always been peaceful, routine, almost hypnotic in its calm rhythms. But today, it was chaos, a sense of doom threading through every sound, every movement. Max's gaze returned to the edge of the forest, where the shadow had reappeared, shifting like smoke through the undergrowth. He barked again, a commanding, guttural sound that seemed to shake the trees. Daniel strained his eyes, trying to see what Max saw. A chill ran down his spine as he realized he couldn't. Whatever it was, it remained hidden, watching, waiting. Then came the unmistakable sound of hooves pounding, not from the horses, but something else. Something heavier, larger, more deliberate. Max's ears flattened, and he growled, low and menacing, a warning that this was no ordinary intruder. He backed Daniel toward the barn, then ran in a wide arc, circling back, positioning himself between the approaching threat and the animals he had sworn to protect. Daniel could barely keep up, stumbling over rocks and uneven ground, his heart racing. He had raised Max from a puppy, trained him, loved him, but even he had never seen his dog like this, alert, almost human in perception, aware of danger beyond the ordinary. Max barked, leapt, and circled again, his energy relentless, his devotion unwavering. From the edge of the forest, a rustling grew louder, more insistent, until a massive, shadowy figure emerged into the clearing. Daniel froze, unable to comprehend what he was seeing. It wasn't a wild animal, not exactly, at least not in any form he recognized. Its presence radiated menace, a calculated intelligence that sent a shiver down his spine. Max barked and charged forward, teeth bared, every muscle coiled, every instinct sharpened to the point of danger. But before Max could reach it, the figure paused, tilting its head as though acknowledging the dog's challenge. Max stopped mid-run, hackles raised, growling in defiance. The shadow didn't move closer, didn't flee, it simply observed, silent and foreboding. Then, almost imperceptibly, it retreated, slipping back into the woods, leaving a trail of tension hanging in the air. Daniel exhaled, heart pounding, struggling to make sense of what had just happened. Max circled the barn, checking on the horses, ensuring they were calm, that the danger had truly passed. His loyalty and courage were unmatched, an unspoken bond of protection and vigilance that went beyond words. Daniel approached, kneeling beside Max, placing a hand on his head. "Good boy, Max, good boy. You saved them." But even as he spoke, Daniel couldn't shake the feeling that the threat was not gone, only delayed. Max's ears twitched, his body rigid, as he sniffed the air, alert, aware, prepared for whatever came next. The farm, once a place of peace, had become a stage for something mysterious, something that defied explanation. A warning from the animals themselves, delivered through the sharp instincts of a loyal dog, the sensitive ears of horses, and the subtle signs of nature itself. Daniel knew that life would never be quite the same. He had always believed he protected his animals, but today he realized it might be the animals protecting him, and through Max, delivering a warning of a danger that was still out there, waiting, watching, and patient. And somewhere deep in the forest, unseen eyes lingered, watching, as if aware that Max had noticed, that humans had been warned. The morning sun continued its slow rise, casting light on the farm, but the shadows at the edge remained, reminding Daniel, and Max, that the peace they knew was fragile, temporary, and perhaps, in the face of the unknown, illusory. Max returned to the barn, sitting beside the horses, his gaze sweeping the forest line. Every muscle in his body radiated readiness, vigilance, and determination. Daniel, finally understanding, stood beside him, hand resting lightly on Max's back. The bond between man and dog deepened by fear, respect, and gratitude. The farm was safe for now, but the warning had been clear. Something had come, something mysterious, and Max had saved them all. Not just the animals, but Daniel too. And in the quiet aftermath, the message was undeniable. The world held secrets beyond human understanding, and sometimes, the bravest guardians were those who could not speak.